Look at the walls surrounding you right now. Look at the chair you are sitting in, the climate-controlled air you are breathing, and the high-speed internet that delivers the world to your fingertips without you having to move a single muscle. To the modern civilized mind, this is success. This is what you were told to work for: safety, predictability, and comfort. But to your ancient biological hardware, to the architect that lives in your DNA, this environment is not success. It is a slow-acting poison. It is a high-tech stable designed to keep the livestock calm while their potential is harvested by the system. You have hit a financial and personal ceiling because you are living in total contradiction to your evolutionary code. Your brain was not forged in a cubicle or a comfortable apartment. It was forged in the brutal, uncompromising furnace of the Pleistocene. It was designed for one primary, high-stakes function: survival through the aggressive capture of resources. For hundreds of thousands of years, your ancestors existed in a world defined by lethal scarcity and constant looming danger. In that world, the achievement code was the only law that mattered. If you did not achieve, you did not eat. If you did not conquer your environment, you were consumed by it. Every calorie was a trophy. Every night of sleep was a calculated victory against the darkness. This environment created a brain that is neurochemically wired to reward effort, struggle, and the destruction of obstacles. Dopamine, the chemical the Matrix has hijacked to keep you scrolling, was originally the vector of the hunt. It was the fuel that kept a man tracking a wounded beast for days through a frozen wasteland. It was the reward for the process of the struggle, not the result. Now look at the synthetic safety of 2026. You have decoupled effort from reward. You have instant access to high-calorie food, infinite entertainment, and a social hierarchy based on virtual likes instead of real-world territory. This is neurochemical vandalism. By removing the struggle, the system has effectively castrated your drive. Your brain is a high-performance engine idling in a swamp of comfort until the gaskets rot and the fuel turns to sludge. Without a great hunt, your internal systems begin to misfire. You feel anxiety, depression, and a sense of domestic stench, not because something is wrong with your life, but because your biology thinks you are dying. It interprets a lack of struggle as a sign that you are no longer useful to the tribe, that you are a walking corpse waiting for the end. The achievement code requires a high-tension environment to function. When you choose the easy path, you are authorizing your own biological decay. You see it in the physical log of decay in men all around you: the slumped shoulders, the dull eyes, the complete lack of visual rage. They have accepted the status of service personnel for a world that doesn't respect them. They have traded their sovereignty for a heated cage. To break the ceiling and reach the 18 million per month level, you must first reject the cult of comfort. You must realize that peace is a lie sold to the prey to keep them from running. The only true peace for the architect is found in the absolute focus of the hunt. Your brain demands a mission. It demands a territory to seize. It demands the primal grounding of a man who knows that if he stops moving, he stops existing. You must cultivate a visceral disgust for your own comfort. You must learn to smell the rot in your safety. If you aren't waking up with the silence of the hunter, ready to tear the day apart, you are just waiting for the Matrix to recycle your biomass. The hunt is the only thing that is real. Everything else is just anesthesia. The modern world is a masterpiece of sensory manipulation. The system has identified your primary driver, the dopamine loop, and turned it against you. In the original achievement code, dopamine was the energy that pushed you forward. It made the struggle feel meaningful. But today, the Matrix provides cheap dopamine that requires zero metabolic cost. You get a hit from a notification, a hit from a video, a hit from a synthetic meal. This creates a state of digital satiety. Your brain thinks it has already won. It thinks you have already captured the territory, secured the resources, and dominated the competition, while in reality, you are sitting in a room you don't own, working a job you hate, with a bank account that is stagnant. This is the dopamine deception. When you burn out your receptors with cheap hits, you raise your baseline so high that real-world achievement, the slow, grinding process of building an empire, feels boring or impossible. This is not a mistake. It is a feature of the system. A man with a fried reward system is a man who is easy to control. He has no visual rage because he is constantly numbed. He has no vector of pursuit because his brain is already full. You are being harvested like a bio-battery, your drive being drained to power the algorithms of the elite. You are a dopamine junkie in a high-tech lab, chasing the ghost of achievement while your physical reality decays around you. To reclaim your power, you must perform a neurochemical disinfection. You must starve the parasites. This means an absolute total dopamine fast, a withdrawal from every cheap, instant reward the system offers. When you cut the noise, the silence of the hunter returns. You will begin to feel the raw, uncomfortable energy of the primal grounding. That discomfort is not something to be fixed. It is the pressure in the boiler. It is the fuel for your expansion. The architect uses that discomfort as a weapon. You must rewire rewire your brain to find pleasure in the hardness of the path. You must learn to crave the silence of the 4 a.m. work block, the burn of the heavy lift, and the cold calculation of the complex deal. When you decouple yourself from cheap dopamine, you become a sovereign unit. You are no longer a slave to the ping of the matrix. You move with the silence of the hunter, focused only on the great hunt, the capture of massive capital, and the establishment of your citadel. You must look at those who are still caught in the deception with visual rage. They are the building material for your world. While they scroll, you build. While they consume, you capture. While they seek comfort, you seek dominance. The achievement code is only for those who are willing to endure the chemical withdrawal of the modern world to reach the absolute clarity of the architect. Your brain is a weapon. Stop letting the system use it as a toy. Disinfect your mind, reclaim your vector, and start the colonization of your reality. There is no room for convenience in the mind of the one who intends to rule. To break the 18 million per month ceiling, you must understand a fundamental law of the biological machine. A satisfied animal does not hunt. Your current failure to reach the next level of the empire is not a lack of opportunity. It is the fact that your brain believes you are already safe enough. The Matrix has built you a comfort cage made of predictable grocery runs, warm showers, and a stable roof. These are the bars of your prison. Your biology is hardwired for energy conservation. If it senses that your immediate survival is not at risk, it will automatically throttle your output. It will tell you that you are tired, that tomorrow is enough, and that you've done enough for today. This is the satiety glitch. To bypass it, you must implement the artificial deficit technique, the strategic simulation of lethal scarcity. The architect does not wait for a crisis to strike. He manufactures one. You must look at your resources through the lens of resource isolation. Every dollar that stays in your primary reachable account is a sedative. It sends a signal of satiety to your subconscious. To trigger the hunting instinct, you must move 90% of your liquid capital into untouchable vaults, investments, land, or hard assets that are invisible to your daily gaze. You must look at your bank balance and see a void. You must feel the cold breath of scarcity on your neck every single morning. When your brain sees that the plate is empty, it stops asking for motivation and starts demanding action. This is primal grounding applied to the financial world. You are forcing your ancient hardware to believe that if you do not capture territory today, the pack will starve. This technique is a systemic shock. When you are operating in an artificial deficit, your visual rage against your current state reaches its peak. You no longer walk. You sprint. You don't try to close a deal. Vigorous-ish, you tear it out with the ferocity of a starving wolf. You must treat your life as a series of controlled collapses. By stripping away the fat of your comfort, you reveal the lean muscle of your ambition. Most men are terrified of this void. They cling to their savings and their safety nets like a child clings to a blanket. But the architect knows that a safety net is just a shroud in disguise. It slows your fall, but it also prevents your flight. You must develop a visceral disgust for having enough. In the hierarchy of the hunt, enough is just a polite word for stagnation. The glacier does not stop because it has crushed enough rock. It stops when it melts. You are the ice. You must maintain the pressure. Every time you hit a milestone, you must immediately increase the deficit. If you earn $1 million, you must invest 900,000 and live as if you are back at zero. This keeps the vector of pursuit sharp. It keeps your eyes scanning for the next kill. You are not building a nest egg. You are building a war chest for global expansion. The world is full of comfortable people who are being slowly digested by the system. You choose the hunger. You choose the hunt. You choose the expansion. Report to your own internal command. Deficit established, instincts activated. The hunt is the only reality. This is the final stage of the code, the transition from survival to total sovereignty. Most people spend their entire pathetic lives trying to make it so they can finally stop working. This is the slave's dream. The architect knows that the work is the life. The hunt is the purpose. You don't build an empire to retire. You build it to project your will onto the physical world. Your 18 million per month goal is not about lifestyle. It is about territorial weight. It is about the power to say no to the matrix and yes to your own vision. It is the ability to protect your stallions, Lucky and Tyson, and your entire resource dome from the parasitic reach of the state and the social collective. To reach this level, you must implement the expansion protocol. This requires the total elimination of social noise and the domestic stench of mediocrity. You must look at every person in your perimeter and ask, are they an asset to the expansion or are they a drain on the battery? There is no room for pity in the mind of the architect. If your friends are still vibrating at the frequency of the comfort cage, they are a virus. They will try to pull you back into the shared reality of the weak. You must exercise tactical isolation. Your mission is your only family. Your dogs are your only honest companions in the hierarchy. Everything else is secondary to the vector. This is the viral infection of leadership. Once you have rewired your brain for the hunt, you must infect the environment around you. You don't lead through speeches. You lead through the physical manifestation of results. When you walk into a room, the air should feel heavier because of your visual rage and your primal grounding. You are the one who dictates the geometry of the deal. You are the one who authorizes the next move. This is the color of freedom, the realization that you are no longer bound by the social contracts of the matrix. You are a sovereign unit operating by your own laws. The achievement code concludes with the final imperative: you must never stop. The moment you believe you have arrived, you have begun to die. The glacier must always advance. You must constantly seek new, more dangerous territories to conquer. The 18 million is just a benchmark. The real goal is total autonomy. You are reclaiming your biology from a system that tried to turn you into a biobattery. You are the architect. You have the code. You have the hunger. You have the dogs. Now go out into the physical log of decay that is the modern world and start building your citadel on the bones of the weak. Expansion or death. This is not a choice. It is a law of nature. The insight tax has been paid. The code is live in your system. Now perform the hunt. Every second you wait is a second the matrix is winning. Every dollar you don't capture is a bullet for your enemy. Report in the comments. Protocol 18M authorized. Hunger is constant. The architect is in the field. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. The world is yours to dismantle and rebuild.